night. It's a new sports week and just a new week in general. You've reached the regulars. I'm Cody Decker.
I'm Tanya Ray Fox. It's Monday.
It is.
It's our Monday show. I actually feel less like it's a Monday today, mostly because I've been sick for so many days that I've lost track of what's happening in my life at all.
Interesting. I feel like it's more of a Monday because it also happens to coincide with daylight savings,
Oh,
of
that's
which
true.
we adhere for reasons that are not properly explained by anybody.
Yeah,
And
you did just school me on that.
we went ahead and sprung forward, which means we all lost an hour, which, by the way, I'm fine with that if we just keep it here from now on. There's no reason to go back, no reason to fall back. Keep it right here. This amount of daylight is perfectly fine. I hate it. Losing an hour today actually was noticeable.
No,
very noticeable.
I have not been sleeping well, so like I was already set up to fail. But like losing that 1 hour really set me back already. And then, honestly, worse than that, when we have to fall back, when we lose the hour later on, like when we lose the hour of daylight
It's the worst.
later on, that I'd rather honestly not get it back because like now we're spoiled. We get used to the normal amount of daylight.
Better weather, more sunshine.
I don't even want it back. Don't even give me back the hour if you're going to take it away again in the fall. Stop doing it.
By the
I
way-
don't like things being taken away from me. I hate change.
Yeah, I did explain this today on Beetle and Decker, but I just feel like it's very important to reiterate.
Let's do it.
Here's why we do daylight savings. There is no reason. Legitimately, at this day and age, in today's modern consumerism, no reason whatsoever. However, the real reason that we ever started daylight savings is because of World War I. It was an energy-conserving measure in Germany, and we did the same thing because how we got our energy was a little different back in the 1920s.
No way.
Yeah, just a tick. Anyways, we kept it going. We had a little bit of a melee for roughly 40 years, and then we adopted it full-time in the 50s. Don't know why. It's absolutely stupid. If you think it's for farmers, you've been lied to. It has nothing to do with farmers. Nothing whatsoever to do with farmers. In fact, the majority of farmers agree that it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I would imagine that it does not make it any easier for them. And also the idea, like now that I know that there's genuinely no reason, now that you've made sure that I know that, I'm like, wait, so there has to be something nefarious, some nefarious reason they're doing this because they don't do anything for non-nefarious reasons.
There was ish. And the reason was consumerism. Because of the daytime and light being out, people are more inclined to shop more and spend more money as the sun is out later.
So why would we take it back later?
Because we don't shop the same way we once shopped. All shopping's online. It's 24/7, baby. Bezos world.
No. I'm saying I get that. I'm saying why do they ever take any daylight away from us?
I don't know.
If that's the case.
That probably because most of the country gets very cold during the winter and it just doesn't matter. Where here,
They're like, they don't care.
weather here is good all the time.
These
It doesn't
people don't
really
need
matter.
a single extra hour of daylight. The amount of my friends in the Northeast who have full-on seasonal depression and just like the sun came out like this week, that like their whole lives have changed. I was like, oh man, I forgot how that felt.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I forgot about that life.
I haven't forgotten it. I'm not going back.
You're never going back?
I'm so happy to be back in LA, man. This is my town, my place, my people.
I will only ever, like, if I ever leave LA, it'll only ever to be back in the Northeast. Like, there's no other place in the country that
I mean, I love
live.
New York City. I'd love to go back. I'd go to Boston. I'd go to New York City.
Yeah.
I'd go to Portland, Maine, and shut it all down. That place is awesome.
Ooh.
You don't like Portland, Maine?
Not a big Maine guy.
Oh, come on. Portland, Maine is awesome.
I mean, it's fine.
No, it's great.
There's
It's
nothing that I get there that I can't get in
Portland,
Massachusetts.
Maine
Yeah.
is so cool.
It's fine.
You're wrong.
I'm a bit of a Maine hater.
Apparently.
Yeah, there's
Why?
a Massachusetts Maine beef.
Oh, you elitist snob.
Listen, I never claimed to be anything but.
You elitist snob. Massachusetts, what, richest country, richest state in the union.
Well, they certainly pay the taxes for it.
I live in California and I just moved from New York. You do not get to talk to me about taxes.
That's actually super valid. But I would pay just as many taxes, I feel like, in Massachusetts at this point.
I will admit, New York was extra frustrating because I had to pay both state and city taxes.
Don't we pay an LA city tax?
Probably. Well,
Well,
no,
you live in
I live in Santa Monica. Different city. They get me in other
I
ways.
pay an LA city tax, so it's fine.
That's on you.
All right.
That is on you.
I know.
Well, lots to cover today, and let's just get into the main beef of it all because it is time for headlines. And headline number one, listen, there is a WBC going on. There's plenty of actual sports going on,
Yeah.
but football is king, and we cannot sit here and pretend that not a lot of moves were unofficially made today.
The tampering, the legal tampering. Oxymoron? Sure. Does the NFL care?
No.
Like,
They should just, the thing is, if they're gonna do this stupid, like how long is the legal tampering period?
Like 2 days.
Okay, if they're gonna do this stupid thing, why not like capitalize on it and make T-shirts?
Legal tampering?
Yeah, legal tampering.
Legally tamper with me.
Oh, dude, it sells itself.
Can we make that?
We can make that onesies.
The regulars merch?
It's gonna be real sexy.
Legally
you and your people legally tampering.
That's actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
See, you always give yourself credit for ideas you came up with that I don't actually think are that good. Then you don't give yourself credit for ideas you come up with that are good.
Oh no, this one's a winner.
I just said that.
We are
though.
gonna live
I
like
said
kings.
it was a winner.
We're gonna live like kings
This is how we
because
get
of my
rich.
legal tampering onesie. I can't wait. Onesies,
Adult onesies?
G-strings, like all of it. Yeah, adult onesies. Fuck them kids.
Dude, legally tampering G-strings has to happen.
Obviously,
Yeah.
we're in the 2000s back, and it's all about bringing it back up above the hips. I don't know about you ladies.
And when we put it on the website, the model is obviously a man.
yeah.
100%.
What else would it be on this woke show that we do?
Exactly.
Yeah, we're so woke. Anyways, a lot of moves were made today, but right out the gate, like of the moves that have been made, I mean, I still think the sexiest move so far of the offseason, even during this period, was done last week, and that's Max Crosby
Yeah.
going to the Ravens. That's just an unbelievably good move. We'll get more into that in a minute because
Yeah.
it does lead in one of our stories. But today, the only move that really kind of went like, whoa, was the free agent signing of Mike Evans to the 49ers. And
Yeah.
the reason why that was a big whoa for me was only an hour earlier did I read a headline that actually even caught me off guard saying, considering leaving the Bucs. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, this will be an interesting conversation for the next week. Hour later, just like that.
Yeah.
3 years to the Niners. And to which I thought, what the hell? I mean, Tampa is not a bad team. They're a playoff team, and you have a pretty damn good quarterback in Baker Mayfield. This is not a lateral move. I do think it's a better move, obviously, going
sure.
over there. But
Yeah.
man, oh man, that's the end of a Hall of Fame career in Tampa Bay, and it happened in a lightning.
Well, I think when he was, because everybody knew he was a free agent, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like, everybody knew that it was coming up. And when you don't have a deal in place and you're entering free agency and it's pretty clear that they're going to let him hit the market, that's why it was, like, a little bit of a less of a surprise to me. But there was still the option, right, that he would potentially look around, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and the Bucs could retain him. It is such a shame that there's, like, no, like, players just, like, don't really finish their, I mean, we were just talking about Travis Kelce re-signed for a year. It's,
Yeah.
like, so rare that you have a player that sticks around like
I
that.
mean, it'll
and
get
it's-
headlines, Travis Kelce back, but what are
Yeah.
we expecting from a Travis
But like
Kelce
just the
at
fact
this
that
point?
the Chiefs fans have been able to hold on to him, right? And it's like because the Chiefs have stayed really, really good. And it's
Relevant.
pretty clear Mike Evans is making a push to win a Super Bowl. Doesn't think the Bucs are Super Bowl ready. I would tend to agree.
I do too.
You know, I mean, they've been like sneaking into playoffs or staying in playoff contention. They're not a Super
They've
Bowl
been in
team.
an unimpressive division for years.
Yeah.
That's how they've been sneaking in. They've been
Yeah.
they've been the best mediocre team
Right.
in
Which
that
is,
division.
I mean, he just went to the like opposite, right? Like the AFC East or NFC West is
Is
stacked.
a juggernaut. And by the way,
So-
and this was a team that did pretty well, did win playoff games, did move on. Now they got their asses handed in their final game, but
Yeah.
at that point,
they were hurt as
they
hell.
were as broken
Decimated.
as humanly possible, and they did an entire season without their best receiver as well.
Yep. And,
so
and like the injuries that they did have were inordinately important to, you know.
Oh, yeah, and
the
then
fact
losing
that they
George
made it
Kittle.
as far as they did was crazy.
yeah, George Kittle losing out at the end was just like, well, then this is just it's a corpse of a team now.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the move. Obviously, I don't think that I say Mike Evans. He's one of those players that like do whatever you want. You have a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
He's been incredible. One of the more consistent careers I've ever watched. As far as wide receiver is concerned, like that dude has the record for 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah.
You know, consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. So
He's consistent too.
Yeah.
It's not like there was another move that was made. What was it? Was DJ Moore? Now DJ Moore, yeah, sexy move at first,
Yeah.
until you really look at how fast his honeymoon period ends. Yeah, he'll
Sure.
get 1,100 yards that first year, but then he's going to follow with a 700 and a 600 because he doesn't like the amount of touches he's getting. Not the case with Mike Evans, year in, year out.
no, Mike Evans that's why I love him so much, and I love the move. Obviously the Max Crosby move. A lot of everybody's concern about it was that the Ravens. A lot of people were in my DMs talking about how they thought the Ravens kind of overpaid. Couldn't disagree more. I think that people are just having a hard time keeping up with the market, which is not. I'm not even like arguing with fans about this. It is confusing, but like if for a lot of people back in the day, it was like you had to be the elite, one of the 2-3 elite players at a position in order to garner 2 first-round draft picks.
Well, he is.
Well, he's right below, like, so I would say the elite defensive end, edge rushers are Myles Garrett,
Yes.
Micah Parsons.
But Micah's
and-
hurt, so that's why I'm bumping Max to 2.
No, like regardless of injury, right? So like if you're actually just what you produce when you are playing, and then it's TJ Watt. And then but like those are people who can win defensive player of the year type people with the numbers that we've seen so far.
By the way, all three of those players that you mentioned right there, all in the same division.
Yes, Joe Burrow's fucked.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate.
You better take
think
home
that's
Jessica Alba now, because
right.
this is
Wrap it up, buddy. Because
you're done, because
you're done.
you're going to be a corpse.
Or he'll be home hanging out with Jessica Alba for most of the season.
Yeah, good point.
But like, right below those guys is somebody like Max Crosby. And I think it's okay to tier people at these levels, right? Like, I don't think Max has had the top end stuff that we've seen from the three guys I just named. But he's been consistently like one of the best players in the league, one of the best players at the position. That's okay to not be like the top 3, right? If he's 4, cool. And 2 first-round picks for somebody of that level that's what people get. That's what, Sauce Gardner, like these guys get those types of picks. And unlike in the Micah Parsons deal, they, in that deal, the Cowboys got the picks and a player. They got a Pro Bowl defensive tackle.
Yeah.
So this just takes the player out of it. Okay, perfect. If you think that Max is slightly worth less than Micah Parsons, which I would agree, then they got slightly less for him. Perfect. So I love the move. I think it's right.
I think it's a great move.
He sort of like personality wise makes a perfect sense on the Ravens, So that's another aspect of when I like a move, it's like, can I see the player in that culture, on that team?
No, and he fits in. He fits in just well. It's,
Yeah.
it's going to be a very good move for them. But another move that did catch my eye, and I figure we should touch on it real quick.
Yeah.
And 3 years ago, I would have said you were crazy
Okay.
if I said this out loud.
Okay.
But Malik Willis going over to the Dolphins
Yeah.
is not nothing. That's going to be
love
interesting.
It.
Yeah.
It's funny. Someone asked me how I felt about the move, and the fact of the matter is that there's a dead cap hit on Tua.
Yeah. Oh,
So they're
is
paying,
there ever?
They
What,
have
50 million?
something like that. There's a lot of dead money there, and now you're getting a veteran quarterback for cheap, which is what you need when you have a dead cap hit like that. You can't bring in somebody you have to pay. He showed a lot of promise filling in for Jordan Love. Like that's
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And then hey, you want to draft somebody? You want to throw somebody else in the mix to go in the competition? That's how you strike gold. Like that's how you end up with a Brock Purdy or, some of these guys that come up and end up as starters. And so we got, new coach, new quarterback situation, somebody with a high ceiling, potentially low floor, but you're not paying. And that's while you have to pay a quarterback who's not on your roster, that's how you do it. I actually think it's a really smart move for the Dolphins. Yeah. So, I'm going to sneeze. Whew.
Oh, well,
No.
then I'll take over. I agree. And you're pairing with a coach that he's already played for already. The Dolphins are not in win now mode, to say the least. And bless you, maybe.
Thank you.
Depending on whatever you believe. But I do think this is a good move for them and
Yeah.
for Malik, who's getting a chance to start again in the NFL. This is going to be a solid thing. Who knows? Who
The
knows
end
what
of
it
the
could be?
Tua era is so sad.
It is
in
weird.
Miami.
It's-
There's something really just a bummer about it, and I'm not a fan of Tua. Like his
Me neither.
personality doesn't do much for me, but
Nah, I'm good.
there's just something a little bit tragic about it. Now it doesn't feel like these other guys, like Kyler Murray, for example.
Yeah.
Kyler, I think a fresh start for Kyler needs to happen. Do I think he's going to pop somewhere else? Not necessarily. Could he end up like a Sam Darnold? Sure, he could. I don't think he has the personality or the work ethic of Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
But, I just don't see that for Tua.
I can see that.
Yeah. So
I could see it being a problem.
that's any other thoughts about?
No, Tua over to
Yeah.
Atlanta is at least interesting. He's a lefty quarterback, so seeing the scheming for him and Michael Penix Jr. does at least make
Yeah.
sense to me.
Sure.
You
Getting
kind of
stuck
want
with Kevin Stefanski, though.
it's gonna be
That's rough.
It's gonna be tough, but
Sort of a quarterback
we'll see.
killer.
It will just have to
But
wait. and see.
maybe they're both just asshole enough to make it work.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Birds of a feather, perhaps?
And we still have ourselves an interesting quarterback carousel because now I'm wondering who's going to be throwing the ball in Pittsburgh because now Michael Pittman Jr. has
Yeah.
just been traded to the Steelers. Great. You got him and DK apparently going to be catching passes. That sounds fantastic.
whom?
But yeah, who the fuck's throwing these balls? If it's Mason Rudolph, this is not sexy to me. I'm sorry.
It never is.
No,
no,
that's
it,
Mason Rudolph.
they roll out the worst backup quarterbacks. Like,
Man, I don't
it's
know.
really ugly.
I don't know. I guess.
And don't forget,
if you're them, are you begging Aaron Rodgers to come back?
yeah, you're
So am I.
begging in.
He's the best one you can get.
I still keep forgetting that Mike McCarthy is their head coach.
It's just it's. I think I said this on this show. I know I said it on Beetle and Decker, but I said it here too, and I'll say it again just because it's funny.
Why not?
Firing Mike Tomlin and hiring Mike McCarthy is the equivalent of shitting your pants and going inside and changing your shirt.
Yeah,
That's just.
it's actually it might be,
But it might be
It
worse.
might be worse.
It might be going inside and putting on a shittier shirt.
A shirt covered in shit.
Oh,
too.
let me get something that matches these shitty pants.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just a matching shit shirt.
All right. Well, let's go to headline 2.
We got to go over to the WNBA. We're going to stay on
Yeah.
top of this because I
It's
do actually
interesting.
really feel like part of the reason that these women are getting screwed over in the CBA negotiation is because people think they can get away with it.
Yes.
So Caitlin Clark and Brianna Stewart have been pushing recently. There were quotes for them to get a marathon CBA session
Yes.
done with the league.
Yes,
What
they
they
have.
really want is to just sit down and hash stuff out. And the quote from Caitlin Clark was, "I don't understand why we don't just get in a room and iron it out and shake hands. That's how business is done. You look each other in the eye, you shake hands, you respect each other, both sides. For me, that's what I would love to see." And WNBA Vice President Brianna Stewart agrees. She said, "I think it would be great for all of us to get in a room until we really get it done.
Yes.
If that means sitting in there for hours and hours at a time, let's do that. That's for the better of the player. While a situation like that has never happened before, there's a first time for everything." Well, there's a first time for everything in the WNBA in a lot of ways, including the aggressiveness of the CBA negotiation. My question for you, which I always am going to bounce things off of you on this front,
course.
is that, clearly the women of the WNBA are giving a concerted effort to have an honest sit down to hash things out. Like, they're not afraid to sit down and say, like, let's go, let's do this. Like, we're ready to do this. And the other side seems to be holding out
Yes.
in some way. Are they trying to make the women and the WNBA PA itself look unreasonable by doing this? Like, are they trying to scapegoat them as if, like, oh, well, they're hard to work with?
So hear me out on this.
Okay.
Just hear me out on
Yeah.
this. I think what Brianna Stewart and Caitlin Clark just did was actually quite brilliant because I did not think. I see this a little bit different than you do. And
Okay.
hear me out on this.
Yeah.
And I think this is a brilliant move putting it out there because I can't stress this enough. When it comes to CBAs.
Oh, I think it's smart that they put this
No,
out there.
very
Yeah,
smart.
Yeah.
I can't stress this enough. So much of these CBAs are fought in the court of public opinion.
Right.
As much as they're going to hammer out a deal, everyone's looking for leverage at all times. And
Right.
they often get their leverage. What happened last week that got the owners and the league a little bit more leverage? This little mystery letter that gets put out from the key players in the negotiation not liking their leadership. Guess who looks unorganized to the public? Now they can get probably a few millions back in this negotiation. Well, now the players go ahead and put it back in the ownership's group. No, we are ready to sit down. We are not unreasonable. They won't meet with us. Well, guess who looks like shit now? The league and the owners. I'm interested to see what kind of fire back is going to come back from this because I always look at the pendulum swing. When it swings one way, the more drastic swing the other way is going to come as well. The ownership has a couple of advantages. One, it's a younger union. Two, they have a younger union that doesn't quite, I'm not going to say they don't know what to do, but this is a meteoric rise that we've had kind of out of nowhere for the WNBA. I'm not positive that the union was, and I apologize for the use of this word, prepared for it, but it's not because they were ill prepared. It's because how do you prepare for kind of an overnight sensation to just hit your league and rise your league up that way? It's kind of a unique thing that happened. But on the flip side, the women have never had more leverage in their lives, and there's a chance they never will again.
Right.
So they need to get as much as they possibly can for future generations. This is very, very, very serious. And there's a lot at stake because, as we've mentioned, the aforementioned Sunday night women's sports nights.
Right.
That's a big thing for the WNBA and the women of the WNBA. You got the new TV deals that are popping up. You have the Unrivaled League that's also taking place. You're seeing much more bigger shoe deals on the female side than we've ever seen before. We're entering a different era, and this is a very unique time. So what's my read on this? I do think that the women have more leverage than people are giving
And
them
you
credit.
think that by doing this, they sort of even just
They
grab the
do.
reins even more
But-
because they put it on the league publicly to say, hey, we just put it out there
Mm-hmm.
publicly that we will sit in a room for a marathon of hours to hash this out. So what's
Yes.
your move now?
And now they have to come back with a move. But
Right.
can I also bring up something that is a little uncomfortable and it's just factual?
Well, I'll let you know if it's uncomfortable. Let's see.
You know how sports fans are. And you know specifically toxic male sports
Mm-hmm.
fans are. They're always going to control some semblance of the narrative, especially on the online market.
Sure.
No matter what, there's going to be, no matter what progress is made or whatever is made, you're going to see a weird 25 to 30% contingent bitching about them just being women.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
going to be, you should get what you want type of comments that are everything you would expect the misogynistic group to actually come out and say.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, whether the league knows it or not, does play that into their advantage when they can. Because
Well, I mean, to be fair, I will say the bootlickers are everywhere, right?
I
Corporate
agree.
bootlickers are like
I agree.
everywhere. It makes it hard on NFL players. It makes it, I mean, we talk about it with the MLB all the
All the
time.
time.
Fans that just are like, why are you rooting for the billionaires?
I
Why
just
are you
don't
rooting
get
for
it.
You want these guys to end up with a salary cap or what? Like they never really fully get the business side of it, and when they do get the business side of it, they worship the billionaires and the people in charge because there's some sort of a fantasy role play they have of
Mm-hmm.
like being the guy in charge someday and being like, I'd be the one who'd fuck over the women. And you're like, okay, weirdo.
Well, that's strange.
Right now, you can barely afford to take someone to dinner, so maybe
You can't
don't
afford to
pocket
go to
watch.
these games right
Yeah.
now. And I got some bad news for you.
Yeah.
It ain't the players' fault.
I'm watching it right now. There's like all these unsubstantiated reports about Dak Prescott getting a he
Hey,
broke
hey,
up with his
hey.
fiance and there's
It is funny.
but this is like the whole thing is not even a real story. Like
Is
they
it not?
No, like TMZ and people have come out and been like, actually, it turns out it's probably not the prenup. A bunch of sources are telling us that she's like independently wealthy and never really cared about his money. Like this is a totally different issue. But the
Wow.
entire internet is full of men being like, see this money grubbing hoe just thought she was
Well,
going to
they
get
already
his
have
money
two
and blah,
kids
blah, blah.
together. It doesn't really
I was
make
like,
that much
she
sense.
has 2 children with him. She's already going to
Yeah,
get his
she's
money
fine.
for at least for the children. Like, and it's just wild because I'm like, your pocket watch. You're like, yeah, thank God Dak gets to keep all $300 million. That's
Well, that's
right.
not how that works.
Well, right, but also more importantly, bitch, why are you rooting for this man to keep his money from the mother of his children when you are 3 payments behind on child support? Like,
Dude,
shut the fuck up.
Listen, my thing is, I have no idea what this situation is, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that every comment that Dak got too close to a ring is not funny.
It's so funny.
That shit is funny. I'm sorry,
He
it's
was like-
funny.
he was like-
it's funny.
It's a very good meme. It's
a great joke.
It's perfect, and I love a good joke. I think
Sorry.
it's incredible, and that still rings true regardless of why they broke up.
Yeah.
They did. So there it is. All right. Well, rooting for the women always. We will
Always.
keep tracking how this goes. I do think that at this point now we're waiting to hear from the WNBA. Their sort of like return on this. We don't know. Haven't heard anything, but we're getting down to the wire in terms of getting things figured out. And at this point, I'm not gonna lie, just for chaos's sake, I'm kind of rooting for a lockout.
It's going to be interesting.
I
It's
don't
go-
want that for the women, but
But
I
it-
kind
it-
of like
you
feel
put-
like it might be going
You
there.
put the screws to the league because you're really putting it. You're not just pouring cold water. And here's the other thing: you're pouring cold water on the Sunday night
Yeah.
ESPN thing.
I know.
But just think about this on the flip side. Maybe there's a portion of the owners that are licking their chops on that as well, going like, "But when we do get a deal done,
Mm-hmm.
and our first one happens 2 months into the Sunday night things."
It also
gonna-
never
it's gonna
hurts
be
to
big.
have ESPN on your side saying, "Hey, we'd love for you to get a deal done with these women."
Listen,
And-
it's going to be interesting.
And at the end of the day, there a lockout for the women because I mean, regardless of how this goes, the WNBA is still going to have to grow. We still want to see it continue to grow. It's not really on the table very often for all kinds of leagues, but for it to be like legitimately for it to work legitimately for all the reasons that you've
Yeah.
mentioned, it'd have to be now. So we'll see.
This is the moment.
see.
It's just the way it goes. This is their moment to get it done.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to headline number 3, and this one's a little more near and dear to my heart, but not because I'm an MLS fan.
No.
I to this point have seen like 5 MLS games. I've gone to a couple Galaxy games. I am told that LAFC is definitely a thing
Yeah.
in town to go to.
Yeah, LAFC and Angel City, both
Yeah.
the women's and men's teams.
I
are
hear
great.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe I will dabble in there,
Yeah.
but there's only so much soccer I
You
can
know
keep
what?
track of.
Chris has season tickets to Angel City.
Interesting.
The women's team, really good seats, like right almost on the 50-yard line there.
Chris has my
in the
number. You can call me.
That's what I'm saying. He
Chris
has
has
two
my
seats.
number.
I can't go to a lot of the games.
Chris has my number.
I know.
Chris,
So there you go.
give me a handsome date. Let's do
Signed you up on TV.
it. Yeah, this is, I'm going to frame it this way. This was always going to happen, and it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And what I'm referring to is the MLS gambling scandal.
Yeah.
Now, I was not even aware that this gambling scandal was taking place.
Not a lot of people are. That's why I put it in here so that we could be the only people talking about it, and then
Yes.
maybe somebody would find us, and then we're the people.
And here's the deal.
That's how you make TV,
Wi-
people.
Every single gambling book, whether it be BetMGM, and by the way, I have no issue with any of these things. I've worked for multiple of them. I've worked for FanDuel. I've worked for BetMGM.
No, we honestly have a bigger issue with the leagues and the networks being in bed with them, which I know
My
they
problem,
want,
my
but-
problem is more the leagues
Yeah.
than the networks
Yeah.
themselves. The networks I can almost understand. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little more precious about it for obvious reasons, but go
But the
ahead.
leagues being in with it is
Yeah.
a
Insanity.
frighteningly large double standard.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into an even darker area because now not only do you have players that are brand ambassadors for gambling companies,
Right.
but you also have players that are now brand ambassadors for things that aren't even technically gambling, but absolutely are gambling, and it's just a big old Ponzi. Dude, Kalshi, the fact that Giannis is sitting here doing commercials and ads for Kalshi is insane to me. Insane to me. I don't know how any of this is good, and it's a massive bubble that will burst. And the first bubble to burst, and I think every single sports book is sitting going, oh, thank God it's just soccer.
Right.
Because it's just not as big here.
Yeah.
And I think they're thrilled it happened this far removed from the upcoming World Cup because right now everybody in the United States is talking about soccer. Oh, World Cup. This is just being slid right under the radar for the time being.
Well, what we should tell the people what actually happened and
Please.
why these guys are suspended, because these two players who are banned for life, so not suspended, banned for life, Derek Jones and Yaya Boa, for betting on MLS matches.
Including their own matchups.
Exactly. Jones was playing for the Crew. Yeboah most recently played for LAFC and previously for Columbus with Jones. They were tipped off the MLS for suspicious betting alerts, which does happen. Like
Yes, all the time. Happened to
Yes.
Major League Baseball, Emmanuel Clase
Yep.
with his first pitches. Yes.
Yeah, and it's happened in the NBA as well with Javante Porter, including. So the investigation found that the players engaged in extensive gambling on soccer, including on their own teams during the 2024 and 2025 seasons. In one instance, both players bet on Jones to receive a yellow card during an October 19th, 2024 match between Columbus and the New York Red Bulls. Jones received a yellow card in the 35th minute for a foul. You have to understand, you can just draw a yellow card. That's like genuinely insane to bet. Like, this is the kind of stuff that everybody said, like, this is what players will do if you can gamble.
Prop
and, like,
betting
blah, blah, blah.
is a big problem.
And,
it is.
And drawing a yellow card is essentially, it's sort of like an NFL player saying, like, I'm gonna draw pass interference. You have almost full control over it. At some point, you're going to get called for it. Like, even if you get a pass on one or two, like, that's you deciding to do it.
Yes.
And you are also, and this is where we start getting into, like, Black Sox territory, fucking your own team.
Big time.
Like, you're screwing yourself and your team. So now
Yes.
we're starting to get into tanking. And this is what everybody said wouldn't happen. That because God forbid we acknowledge the slippery slope. Well, the players aren't gonna bet on their teams to lose. Blah, blah, blah. It's gonna be like the Pete Rose thing. No.
No.
This is starting to get into tanking.
And we need to get out of that Pete Rose. Those, by the way, the worst argument for all of this that I've ever heard in my entire life, and I can't stress this enough,
Yeah.
is the dipshits that come out of the woodwork trying to make Pete Rose out to be a hero because he bet on his team to win. I have arguments that actually would argue that that's fucking worse, especially because we was a manager at the time of doing it.
Yes.
This is a dumb argument. You cannot bet on anything, let alone your own games. I don't give a fuck where you're laying your bets.
Yes, 100%. And also, Pete Rose was a rapist.
Oh, Google
But
it.
there's that.
Maybe don't Google it, or Google it.
It's just you'll get an ESPN article. But the idea that you would start getting into missing shots or getting penalties,
Yes.
doing the things that fuck your own team over, which are the easier things to do, by the way.
Yes.
That's why it's always the slippery slope. So the thing I'm trying to think about right now is it an overreaction to say that it's like a matter of when at this
No.
point and not if
No.
an actual very important game has its results basically completely tainted.
Guys, it's coming. And I'll say even the darker part. It's coming if it hasn't already fucking happened.
Yeah.
I cannot stress this enough.
Yeah.
This is coming. This is always coming. It's going to come, and it's going to be bad when it happens because it's going to be something very big. We almost had it a year and a half ago with the whole Shohei Ohtani thing. Major League Baseball now.
That got hairy.
You think right now that Major League Baseball hasn't heavily benefited that Shohei Ohtani not going down in that scandal?
Well, and didn't they
Look what happened to Major League Baseball.
Doesn't it kind of feel like they almost made sure that, like,
boy, does it
how
ever.
many times are you going to be able to do that, right? How many
They
times
did
are you
it
gonna be able to do
once,
that,
and
right?
that's only and that's with the biggest name in the sport. So let's see where things go in the future. But this is only one domino of bigger dominoes to fall.
Like we are at the point, are we not, where we're going to be watching an Eastern Conference Finals game in the NBA, and like whether it's this year, whatever, at some point something's going to come out where it's like, so and so was missing free throws on purpose, and now we've got a playoff game. What do we do? Like something like that is going to happen. I'm not crazy, right?
The
Like,
reason
come
why I don't
on.
like the leagues being in there, and I understand the TV thing, it's actually for the same reason as TV, because TV, you have a lot of money to have for rights, especially getting an extra game. So
Yeah.
they benefit for more games happening, thus more gambling bets being made.
Mm-hmm.
So do the leagues themselves. So they are incentivized for things to kind of go certain ways. These are billionaires. No one was a billionaire for being a nice guy. They have all been, the majority of billionaires have been very nefarious, to say the least.
Most of
And
them,
now
yeah.
we're dealing with sports. And at some point, someone's going to try it
Yeah.
because that's what they do. Everyone tries to get a leg up to make more money. Everyone tries to get a leg up to win games. The Astros scandal didn't happen because they were nice guys.
Yeah. And the higher the stakes of the game, the more likely it is that you're going to get these major payouts.
Yep.
So at some point we're going to see it. And I agree with you that it's worse for the leagues to be
Yes.
involved. I will say where it's getting frustrating is that the networks themselves, by focusing so much on betting, are incentivizing players within the leagues too to be involved. Like I don't think people understand, and I'll just address the audience here. The players pay so much attention to what's happening in the media. Like so much. They tell you they don't. They're obsessed with it. Like I don't even think you fully understand, Cody, how obsessed NBA,
I believe it.
NFL, they're insane about it, especially the leagues that are covered specifically on these shows. Obsessive about it. And so the more that they hear about their fantasy and about their sports betting, but it starts to like get in their heads. So the whole thing is it's a bubble waiting to burst as far as just the inordinate number of gambling issues, but also we're so close. I mean, we got to be like a couple years away, if at
It's
most,
happening.
from something happening.
And
like this.
I'm going to call it now. It's going to be the NFL. It's going to be an NFL scandal.
It has to be an
gonna
NFL
be an
scandal
NFL
for
scandal.
it to change anything. I'll tell you that much. Like that's when something will change, is when it happens, and it's like Antonio Brown or something, like some player like that's like willing to like be absurd, especially because they do have
Just you wait. There's going to be Congress. It's going to be like the Balco scandal.
You know what I
times
really
1
hope,
million.
Cody? I really hope we have a Congress to deal with it, because right now, not super convinced we will.
No, this Congress wouldn't do anything.
No, this Congress would not.
We'll
And
talk.
that's if
We'll
we
talk
have-
again at the end of November.
Yeah, right. Let's revisit this to make sure we have a Congress
In
for
November,
The rest of next,
we'll revisit.
because at the end of next season, we could just have an entirely different system by that point.
Yeah,
All right.
no, we are in idiocracy. This is idiocracy. Who am I kidding?
It really has been. Let's
Brought
go
to you by Mountain Dew.
let's go to Media Corner, brought to you by Idiocracy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you ain't lying. Listen, I'd like you to go ahead and tell us all
Okay.
this, because you are the Lamar Jackson, not defender is the wrong word, because I don't think Lamar Jackson should be defended. He doesn't
Yeah.
need to be defended. He is a 2-time MVP. He's one of the best players.
It is
of this
a
generation.
beat of mine, though.
It is.
I'm on
It
the
is.
Lamar Jackson
It
beat.
is a bit-
I'm a
it-
premier Lamar Jackson expert among the
100%.
media.
And I often am irritated by Dan Orlovsky. Take it away.
Perfect. So am I. So Lamar Jackson
Save
responded.
save our women. Just protect our women. I'll never forget that tweet. Never in my life will I
Oh.
forget that tweet.
Why did you have to bring that
We'll
up?
never forget that tweet. That tweet will live in the back of my head forever. Every time I see his face, I think of that tweet.
You had to remind me, didn't you?
You're welcome.
All right. Lamar Jackson responded to Dan
Protect our
Orlovsky,
women.
saying he has no more excuses after the Ravens traded for Max Crosby. So Ravens traded for Max. Talked to you guys about that earlier. You now know the deal. Great deal. Great edge rusher. Dan Orlovsky says, got to get it done. It's been that way. It's even greater now. And that was him reposting his entire segment from Get Up on Monday morning, talking about how Lamar Jackson has no excuses. Lamar Jackson responded.
Which I love.
And, he doesn't always respond. Like, this
No, he
isn't something that
doesn't.
he's not Kevin Durant. He said, Dan, there has never been excuses for Lamar, though. And then there's a cigarette and a, like, tired emoji. I'm not sure what the cigarette's for, but.
Hey, yes, you do. It's just this.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. So he's tired of the bullshit.
He's Ben Affleck outside of
Yep. the
some
Dunkin'
sort
Donuts.
of screening, just smoking a cigarette, realizing all the mistakes of all the Jennifers he's dated
And you know what?
and married.
Lamar deserves better than to feel like Ben Affleck dating a Jennifer. The worst part about this, Cody, is that Dan then responded to Lamar Jackson, which is a absolute no-no. Once you
Interesting
talk,
choice.
once you say your piece about a player and they respond to you, you let it go. Not Dan. You're right. ... Not needed though. ... Go get you one. If Dan were, I cannot. First of all, before I even talk about the problematic part of all of this, for Dan Orlovsky, who couldn't fucking wash Lamar Jackson's jockstrap.
You nailed it. You nailed it the first.
This is
or
how
fourth
mad
time.
I am. For him to talk shit about a player he could never fucking touch
Yeah.
in terms of talent or success, to be like, yeah, now you go get one. Like,
That was a weird
That's
response.
a weird fucking thing
you know
to
what
say.
it was? It was like he was being called out, and
He's condescending.
he
He's such a
wanted
condescending
No, he
dick
wasn't.
about
I don't
it.
think he was trying to be a dick. I think he was honestly trying to be like one of the boys.
No, that's the thing. Is
which
that,
I
like,
which I find condescending.
that's
by the
what
way.
it is. Like, whenever you're, first of all, he's not one of your boys.
No.
So, like, you're not my guy. You're not my bro. So when you start talking to somebody like they're one of your bros and they're not, that's some fucked up shit. And guy
It's-
code.
no,
Know
dude,
how that
it's-
goes.
it's
When
tired.
someone's too familiar.
Well, it's a tired act. It's tired as
Little
shit.
too familiar.
I hate it.
Go
I hate
get
it.
you
I
one?
hate it. Go get you one, son. Like I got me one.
I do not need you to tell. Like, I do not need you to tell
That's
me that.
like if I went up to Manny Machado and
Yes.
told him, "Go get you one, bro."
Imagine.
Fuck! I got like 20 games in the show.
Yeah.
Like,
And he's like-
would I like Manny to go get him one? Yeah, sure, go get him.
And
Go
by the
get you one,
way,
man.
I
That's
still
fine.
maintain that you were a more relevant baseball player than Dan Orlovsky was a goddamn fucking quarterback.
No,
And I'm
it's
sorry.
gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
Well, either way,
But no, but there is a serious lack of self-awareness on who
Go
you are,
get ya
Dan
one.
Orlovsky.
I will-
Dan, I don't mind you making your whatever football takes you make, whether they're good,
Agreed.
well orchestrated,
Agreed.
or dumber than shit at times. Maybe they are.
Yeah.
I don't know or care. But to give your criticism and then be one of the boys, like, no, we cool, right? We cool, right?
go get you one.
Dude, what a fucking weak ass move.
Yeah.
You know what? It's almost as good as the tweet that said "protect our girls." We got to protect our girls. I'll never
Yeah.
forget it, Dan. I will never fucking forget it.
So here's the thing. Dan loves
Ever.
Josh Allen. We know Dan loves Josh Allen, and Dan's allowed to love Josh Allen. If
No
Dan
problem.
if Dan wants to love Josh Allen and that's his favorite quarterback in the league, that's the guy he rides for. That's his little.
Hey,
you know,
Josh, go get you one.
Yeah, that. How about? And you know what Dan did after Josh Allen threw multiple picks, turned the ball over, 4 turnovers, and
Defended.
lost to the Broncos? Was defended him
like
he
it was his own mother.
literally.
Yep.
I think he probably would have thrown his own mother under the bus faster than he would have given a single critique to Josh Allen about that. So for him to get on here and start condescending to Lamar Jackson about going to get one, first of all, Lamar Jackson having a good defense is nothing new, by the way. He has had good defenses in the past. He'll have good defenses in the future. The issue has been that they don't give him any fucking wide receivers. His best receiver has been a tight end for the entire time he's been there. Like, he literally has he's never had a true number one receiver. That's the whole thing. He's had good defensive players. Like Max Crosby getting great move, but this is as somebody who, like, his whole job is to understand exactly what the dynamics are at
Yes.
play in order to get Lamar Jackson where he needs to go. He understands that. I know he understands it because he has these conversations all the time around Josh Allen and then the Buffalo Bills. So why all of a sudden now are we going to say that getting a defensive end is what he needs when what we've been talking about is offensive line, receivers, that The offensive line and the receivers have been the issue. And by the way, every single person who knows analytics, who's really studied this stuff, has said that Lamar Jackson carries the weapons around him better than anybody in the league by the numbers.
Yeah.
Point blank. And now you're like, well, you have a guy who can get sacks. What the fuck are you talking about, Dan? Come on. And then you're going to condescend on top of it. I cannot do it with these guys. And I actually genuinely respect that he cares so much about the game, that he always knows what's going on with these. Like, we're going to get into a person next who doesn't give a fuck about the game
Listen,
and who doesn't pay attention. And
I wanna
so
make this
give
abundantly
Dan,
clear.
I just want to make sure that people understand. I give Dan credit.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is coming from a place of not caring. I think that Dan and I have a very different idea of how to talk about players in the league, and I think our values are incredibly different, and they'll come through. But this is not me coming for whether or not I think Dan knows ball. I think he does know ball, which is why I'm mad at him about this, because it's pointed and it's biased in a very specific way that can only come from somebody who knows ball and then lets it get undermined by their biases.
Listen, have we protected our daughters yet? Have we done that yet?
I'm not gonna lie. According to the Epstein list, no.
Okay, well then we're failing Dan.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that we failed Dan for all these years. Never forget that tweet. We'll never.
Well, maybe he can go get him one.
Maybe he can. Let's go to Media Corner Part 2, because as much as listen, Dan Orlowski does do his research. Some others in this industry do not do their research. And when it comes down to it, you and I have similar but different takes, because I do think
we have overlap.
There is overlap. This is a Venn diagram, this next topic. And this next topic is specifically about Shaquille O'Neal and basically the lack of research that he does. And he brings it up specifically. Watching basketball. But that's not a Shaquille O'Neal problem. This is more of an overarching problem, specifically in the sports media industry right now. Would you like to give people the information of what Shaq did on television?
Sure. So Shaq, during the halftime show of the game between the Celtics and Cavs this weekend, admitted that he had no idea who Baylor Scheierman was.
You should probably know who that is.
Yeah. Scheierman finished the game with 16 points and 10 rebounds for Boston. He is an incredibly important rotation player on the team. He has been the entire season. Now, if prior to this year you didn't know who Scheierman was, understood. I didn't, really, and I'm a Celtics fan. So completely get that. The Celtics are second in the East. They just got Jason Tatum back. They're one of the best players in the NBA, one of the best teams in the NBA, and this is a player who is consistently contributing. So if you watch basketball, especially if it's your job to watch basketball, there's no reason you don't know who this player is. Like, he's a real important
or at least have
player.
heard his name. I mean, if you've
something. No, genuinely, you can't. There's no way to watch basketball even casually and not know who he is this year. It's actually impossible.
He's been a serious role player on the second best team in the Eastern Conference.
In the NBA. And in the NBA in general, right now, the Pistons and the Celtics are two of the best teams in the NBA. So, Shaq admits he has no idea what's going on. And and does it in a way that's he's like, I don't know, who is this guy? I've never even heard of this guy. And he makes it, plays it off. So, are we surprised? No. Come on. Of course we're not surprised Shaq has no idea what's going on.
Guys, Shaq is shooting more commercials daily than he is watching any tape or film. He's not. Here's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Because I hear what the point and the overarching idea of this Media Corner segment is. The lack of research that is being done by...
That's not quite my point.
Is it more athletes specifically that are being hired in these positions that are not doing the research and kind of going by with their names?
My bigger issue, and then you can respond to it so that you know what I'm saying, is I think that the purpose of having a star player like Shaq's an all-time, arguably a top 10 player all-time in the NBA. This is somebody who is meant in their role to not necessarily be a perfect analyst, necessarily, but to be an ambassador for the game.
Completely.
And so when you pay somebody like Shaq in the media, you're obviously getting star power, you're getting his humor, all those things, and also to be an ambassador for the game. And I think that increasingly over time, Shaq has been outright dismissive and almost genuinely undermining where the game is at by just completely checking out of it entirely. And that's the part that I think is really frustrating, because he is so uniquely poised to we're asking you to pay attention to 10 teams, right? You don't actually need to pay attention to if you don't know who a rotational player is on a last place team in the league, I almost get it. But like you there's one service that you have, which is to like care a little bit about basketball.
Yes. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
He's Shaquille O'Neal, and sadly, he is entirely a brand upon himself.
He is.
And his role, and I'll go a step further, the actual role of Inside the NBA is that. It is to be the show with the stars. And Shaq's role at this point, and if you think he's dismissive now, I actually go a step further. I think he's been dismissive since he's retired, and that's just been the way he's kind of been.
Yeah.
He's like a charming curmudgeon.
I wouldn't disagree.
And that's kind
He's
of...
also incredibly problematic about the WNBA.
I
too.
agree.
So it's like,
no, I
yeah.
couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
But you don't have Shaq and Chuck there because they're giving you breakdowns. You just aren't.
But so Chuck, that's the thing.
and
is,
I
like,
love Chuck too.
I agree, but like Chuck has the ability to play off. So like for me, you have to also be able to play off your mistakes, right? Or be like, man, I haven't been paying. I got to check out this what's his name? Shireman. I got to make sure I know this man's name. He'll do stuff like that, right? Which is like that's how you play it.
Yes.
Right, he's just
and
better
Shaq doesn't.
at television.
And I agree. But my issue is not guys like Shaq, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you why. And it's because Shaq is something a little. I know this is going to sound weird the way I'm saying this, but there
Yeah.
are certain people that have, in ways, somewhat outgrown the game. Not outgrown, but have just
The game's outgrown them.
maybe. But it's
Maybe,
more
yeah.
like he's more of a character now rather than ex-NBA.
I'd argue
guy.
that he always has been, and maybe he should have never been in the media.
Maybe,
Yeah.
perhaps. But you can't deny that Inside the NBA is probably the gold standard of a sports talk show because it's just they're just
Yeah.
fun guys.
I love
And
them.
Shaq's role is simply not to break down basketball in front of them
That's why it's like, why are we even talking
because
about Shireman?
I agree. That's not
Produce
the show for this.
better. Produce the show
That
better.
I would agree with a little bit more.
Yeah.
My issue is not guys like on this show. This
Yeah.
show, I think, works for the reason that it works. It works because of the camaraderie between the four hosts. That
By
are
the way,
on.
I do think my critique can stand and still agree with you that like I love the show.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right.
My issue is actually a bigger overarching problem
Okay.
in the industry, and it's people that do not have the cachet or the resume or the background or anything of a Shaquille O'Neal. It's the other
Right.
people in sports media who don't watch sports
But they
and
don't-
talk about it with ad nauseum with a certain amount of not just polarization,
But hear me out. Does anybody expect them? So this is what I want to know.
Let's hear it.
Shaq not knowing who the fuck an incredibly important role player on the Celtics is. By the way, played for the Celtics.
Yes, yes, he did.
Is that not more harmful than some random ass like dude that you're talking about, who I know you're talking about because I've worked with 4 million of them, some underqualified, I played sports
I was just
guy.
at a channel at SiriusXM where everyone that I
Right.
worked with fit this bill,
Right.
with the exception of like 2 that I really, really liked that
Right.
thought had good say. DA, you're one
But
of
are
them. I
they
love you, DA.
ambassadors for the NBA? No. They're not ambassadors for anything. They're
That is
dudes
fair.
looking for jobs.
That is fair. That, you know what? That is a very, very fair thing. But I will give, and this isn't fair,
No, say it, because
This
I'm
isn't fair.
I'm inching toward you. We're inching toward each
because
other.
here's the thing. This just isn't fair.
We could meet here.
I give Shaq a pass for the sole purpose
Okay.
that he is Shaq. That is not a fair response,
Okay.
and there is nothing quantifiable that I can give back to you to give
Yeah.
back an argument that is remotely fair. It's an unfair argument.
It's actually okay. I actually don't think it's unfair. I think it's okay to be like, I genuinely don't need or want more from Shaq. Like I totally actually think that that's valid.
I almost want Shaq to refreshingly tell me when he doesn't know somebody.
Yeah, I just think Chuck is so much better at it that it highlights how bad Shaq is. Like,
because
if there
Chuck
was
just
no
kinda does.
Chuck, like, it's frustrating that everything that would make Shaq interesting is just done better and more funny and with more, like, wit than by Chuck, right? So that's the most frustrating part. But, like, listen, you can't get away with this. I mean, imagine if Tom Brady had no idea who, like, a starting wide receiver
Oh,
was.
so you watched that
Like-
first year, huh?
Like, he's never,
Get it?
that's
'Cause it
never been
wasn't
the
good.
case. That, not because he didn't know who people were.
I know. I was just making a joke.
You know, but like, imagine if Peyton Manning had no idea what was going on the Manning.
Yeah,
cast.
no,
Was like,
I-
who is this guy? It's just-
I totally
and they
agree.
are equally as important and famous as Shaq. And so my whole,
close.
well, you think Peyton Manning and Tom Brady don't have the same cachet in
I think Tom Brady
in the
does.
NFL?
I don't think Peyton does.
Well, maybe not, but either way.
That's not a knock, by the way.
Maybe
it's
if
just,
this is if it's a 1-to-1 comparison, I just think that the reverence for where the game is at and the reverence for the game itself. Now, Tom Brady quit playing 5 years ago. Shaq has been done for a lot longer. But I do think at some point it's sort of like, why is Shaq doing this? Do we need him to do this? Because you're
Fair.
right. He doesn't like. What is this job? Like, I don't understand why he.
actually,
does
I'm now
it.
starting to think about it. What is this job?
Why does he have this job? Like, he's so rich. He's an incredible businessman.
He is.
He's a brand unto himself, like you said. He can walk into any place in America and people will worship him because
Yeah.
he's Shaq. Please stop. Like, can we, like, I there's just something like such a bummer. I always feel bad for the guys who are playing in the league now who are being made like jokes of by Shaq. Like, there's something that kind of like bums me out about it. It's
I
just
can
like,
see that.
like, damn, like poor fucking Shireman's
I
like,
can see that.
Shaq's acting like he doesn't have a career, like it doesn't matter. And I just think that like it does nobody any good. And I kind of wish Shaq would just maybe move on from pretending to care about the NBA, because I don't think he does. I don't think he cares about basketball in the NBA. I actually
I would
don't
agree
need
with
him
that.
to.
That's fair. I don't need him to either. I
Yeah.
just need him to be good fodder for Chuck. That's all I need.
Well,
Those two
I
together are
think
gold.
that might be why they're keeping. I think we've cracked the code. I
'Cause
think
they're
they
gold.
literally. I think the only reason he's there is to make Chuck look good and funny, and so that they can go back and forth. Because there's really no other usefulness for him.
All right, let's switch it over to
A
a
much
segment
less
I
heated,
love.
a much less heated topic.
A much less heated topic. And the reason why I want to switch over here, because I don't really know
what's going on.
entirely
Yeah.
what is about to take place.
Yeah.
This is a segment we like to call Why Are We Like This?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to hand it over to Tanya. Tanya, take it away.
Yeah, why are we like this? Is about sports fans, all of us just sort of being insane, and
Yeah.
and we don't know why we're like this. And there's no better example of why are we like this than the Michael Jordan, LeBron James. GOAT
Oh,
debate.
what a topic. You don't have anything that day. You just put on the phone lines, be like, Jordan's better than LeBron. Here's the phone number. Call in, and everybody just gives the most.
But it's never worth
batshit
it because
takes.
it's horrifying.
Yes.
And so the reason it's been reignited is for a very, I mean, it can reignite at any moment, but this is for a very specific reason, which is that Michael Jordan did weigh in on it. He was asked about it on NBC.
I saw.
And he was, gave the pretty stock answer. The GOAT term is something I'll never get high or low about. It just doesn't exist for me. We passed the game to Kobe and LeBron. The beauty of the game of basketball is a player that previous players have evolved. Like he said, players have evolved the game further. That's what it was. Would have loved to play against them, but we'll never know that. That's essentially his. And he went on. It was very well stated, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So no issues with that. Just wanted to tell you guys that happened because that's what got it going.
That was the genesis of what transpired the next event.
And then the next event that happened was that I, myself, an internet shit talker, pot stirrer,
Not you.
came across a post where somebody said that Michael Jordan's trash because his competition, he couldn't make the NBA Finals until his 7th year or whatever it was, because he had trash competition, and clearly he cannot be the GOAT. He's not better than LeBron if he took him that long to make a finals against trash competition and he needed Scottie Pippen to do it. Now, you know this about me. I don't know if everybody knows this. I think LeBron's the GOAT.
I know you do.
I like Michael Jordan a lot. Love Michael Jordan. How
I
can you not
know
love
you
Michael
do.
Jordan? Michael Jordan's all. If you think LeBron's the GOAT, as I do, you think Michael Jordan's the second best player. There's that's how it works.
That's fine.
You think you're an MJ guy? Perfect.
I am.
So I go on and I make my content. I post my reels to TikTok and Instagram, and my thing was, hey, I'm gonna have to defend Michael Jordan here. Never thought the day would come that I would feel like I needed to be the one to do it. But this is a trash LeBron stand take, and I hate seeing the conversations devolve like this because this is how we end up in bad conversations. And I pointed out that the Celtics and the Pistons in the late 1980s, mid to late 1980s, were quite literally teaming with Hall of Famers. And the idea that his competition was trash is just a lame bullshit fucking argument. And it's like we're diluting the ability to have great conversations and to like kind of point out why we think these players are as great as we think they are when we we pull shit out of our ass. Like both sides do it. And in this particular case, LeBron stans tried to pull out it was like an awful point. Michael Jordan played for years against some of the best accumulation of talent the NBA has ever seen.
Yep.
So there I am. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think we give Phil Jackson enough credit for what he was able to do for Michael Jordan, but I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I said. So here I am. I've made my pro Michael Jordan
Which wasn't
video.
much of a thing. Your basic point, if I could just sum
Yeah,
it up, was
sure.
no, he didn't. He played against very good basketball players.
Right.
Some of which many would describe as some of the greatest of all time.
It's actually a testament to him that he
Yeah.
was able to break through as an MVP candidate while Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson and all these players were still in their prime.
Yeah, can I also point this out real quick? Jordan didn't play in the 50s. He played in the 80s and 90s and into the 2000s.
He's a modern NBA player.
What are we talking about?
As were his competition.
Very much so.
So here I am, and I'm like, I did the MJ fans a
You
solid.
did it.
I did it.
Look
you
at
know?
you. You're
Look
a
at
good
me,
person.
And I'm like patting myself on the back. That did not go as planned. The LeBron fans were not mad at me. The Michael Jordan fans went crazy.
For what?
They could not believe I'm so dumb and that I'm so stupid that I don't know ball enough that I would ever say that LeBron is the GOAT. LeBron's not even better than Kobe. LeBron's not even top 10. How stupid am I that I would, those are the DMs and the comments I was getting. Cody, I was getting mass unfollowed. I was watching quite literally because people were so mad that in my video defending Michael Jordan, I mentioned that LeBron was my GOAT. They weren't even mad at anything I said. They were mad that I picked LeBron as my GOAT. That's it. They took it so personally that they started mass unfollowing me, started sending me DMs that LeBron's not even a top 10 NBA player of all time. LeBron's not better than Kobe. He's not better than Steph. LeBron's a fucking loser. And I'm like, oh my God, this was all because I defended Michael Jordan. I have never seen anything like this in my life. And then I posted it again and I was like, hey, the guys are losing their shit. They're going, they're a little unhinged in the DMs. And then people in that one were like, well, yeah, because you're a fucking moron and you don't know what you're talking about, you dumb bitch. I am not kidding.
What the fuck's wrong with you people? Could you guys get your shit together a little bit? Because I just... Listen, I appreciate that people have passion about things that don't affect their lives in any way, shape, or form.
Passion.
I'm trying to be nice. I don't understand this dipshittery. I don't understand this thought process. And it's all and it all comes down to this. How dare you have a sports take and have boobs at the same time?
Also,
you are a monster. How dare you not know your place? Is basically what they're trying to say.
They're also trying to act like I picked Mario Chalmers. They're like, you think who's the guy?
You think Nick Van Exel is the greatest of all time? Like, how fucking dare you?
Why are you the attempt to gaslight me into thinking it's that's what pisses me off. Like, imagine if I looked at you and was like, oh, you think Michael Jordan's the GOAT? What the fuck is? Come on, this is the thing, is people look at me and they're like, they're so mad that I would ever have an opinion different from theirs, and then they think they can gaslight me about it. Bitch, you've now just made yourself look stupid. First of all, to say Kobe over LeBron, number one, you're starting to lose me.
Guys,
you're starting to lose me right
I'm
there.
a diehard Laker fan. I loved Kobe Bryant.
Shut the fuck up.
What are we talking about?
Shut the fuck up.
Like, I loved Kobe. In my opinion, Kobe's maybe top 5 of all time. LeBron is also top 5. It's like, but above him, like by a couple people.
So right there, you've lost me. But now you're like, when you start getting into he's not even top 10, you're the
nuts.
butthurt weirdo.
You're insane. Anyone is insane to say that.
That's like a bizarre thing to do.
Like, listen, I'm a Laker. I'm not a LeBron Laker fan. I'm not.
Right.
But
yeah, of course.
I'm not gonna like. What are we fucking talking about here? Like, how about this? I hate Pete Rose. Pete Rose was a fucking monster. Am I gonna pretend Pete Rose couldn't hit a fucking baseball? Of course he could hit a fucking baseball. But I could give a shit because he was such a piece of shit everywhere else.
Yeah, but Cody, don't you realize that LeBron went to 3 different teams and he was trying so hard to win rings because he had to go get other players.
Whatever. He went and won rings in multiple cities. Not a lot of people can do that.
No one does.
He did it in 3 cities. 3 different cities.
He just got really lucky. Everywhere he went, he had the best team and the best players all the time. Let's just ignore the fact that he was
3
taking
different cities.
absolute bums to the fucking NBA Finals
different cities.
when he was on the Cavs the first time, by the way. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan gets to go. He gets to play with Scottie Pippen. He gets to play with Dennis Rodman. Like, okay, well, God forbid LeBron go and get Chris Bosh. Sorry, Jesus Christ. Like, the conversations we have are
No. I hated the decision. I hated everything about it.
Right. But having good teammates
But are
is
we
kind of like, okay.
Like, can we stop about like? Well, he went and got help, and like that was the narrative at the time. It was like,
Yeah.
well, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
Jordan never would have done that.
Yeah.
Guys, who gives a shit?
Also-
You don't know what Jordan would have done
'Cause he didn't
in
have
that
to.
type of free agent market.
He also didn't have to. Like,
Actually, what am I talking about? He did leave. He went and played for the fucking Birmingham Barons for a year.
No, was he? Did he never even go up to the White Sox?
No, he was in Double A. He didn't play well. He hit like just under 200, but he did go to the Arizona Fall League and hit 250, and actually was playing well. And some scouts firmly believe if he stayed with it, he would have gotten called up to the big leagues eventually. Of which, if I'm the White Sox, I would have called him up anyways, just because he's Michael Jordan.
You know who didn't have to do that though?
Who's that?
Deion Sanders. He was already just really good.
Deion Sanders was not bad. So was Brian Jordan,
Really?
another 2-sport athlete.
Yeah, but Deion Sanders played in a World Series.
Brian Jordan was a better baseball player than Deion Sanders was.
But Deion Sanders played in a World Series.
You're right. Deion Sanders was the reason that they made
No,
the
Deion
World
Sanders
Series.
is the reason they have World Series.
I
right?
didn't say
No, I'm just
Deion
kidding.
wasn't amazing.
No, I'm just kidding.
I can't believe anyone has played more than like. I'll give you an example. Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Is it easy to shit on his baseball career? Absolutely. Should he have gotten that opportunity? Probably not.
Oh.
But he did do it with the Mets organization, and he did have. When I do say some success, the fact that he hit a ball at all, the fact that he actually played at all, I would actually say is very impressive and successful.
Did you ever follow Kyler Murray's baseball career at all?
I have no idea what his numbers were, but he was a first-round draft pick, so
He
he's
was
got to be all right.
Like he really, really like could have played baseball.
Probably
like, for
still
real.
can.
And
A's have already announced that they welcome him back. I believe
I'm
they own his rights.
I'm saying it could be interesting. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen someone be like, you know what, football didn't work out. I'm going to baseball, and he'd probably still make the same amount of money. Quite honestly,
Maybe, but he's running out of time right now because he's 28 years old. And
Yes.
when I was 28 years old, I was getting called pops in my clubhouse.
But he is very little.
He is very little. That is
So,
true. That is true.
and
He's a
he,
little guy.
I don't know if that helps in baseball to
little
be
guy.
little.
No.
It doesn't. It doesn't
No.
help you stay healthier.
No, I was 5'11", and everybody treated me like I
Like you were
wasn't
tiny?
Oompa Loompa.
What do you mean?
I'm too
Oh,
short.
because you were. Oh, really?
I was too short. They want tall guys.
Have baseball players gotten taller?
Have you not seen baseball players?
I mean, like I see Aaron Judge and like dudes like
no,
that,
they're
but,
not
like,
all
and like
6'7",
pitchers.
but like they all want them to be 6'2" to 6'5".
Everybody to me is Dustin Pedroia.
They are not.
Yeah.
Dustin Pedroia was an outlier.
I
That's
know.
why
I
Dustin
know.
was so like
I know.
his nickname was Petey, not because of his name.
I know. My whole life, my whole entire idea of baseball is just modeled around.
Yeah, the
Dustin Pedroia.
Altuves of the world are very far in between.
Do you know that Ortiz story about like him not knowing that Dustin?
Oh
Pedroia's
yeah,
name
that
was
he didn't
Dustin?
know. He
It's
didn't
my
know his
favorite.
name was
Yeah.
Dustin.
What
He's
did he
like,
just call you?
He's like, it's my name.
We've
They
played.
announce my name
We
every
played
at bat.
1,500 games together. Now, see, when David Ortiz has no idea what's going on, fine. Shaq, not fine.
See, there's a double standard on this show too. It's just
yeah,
the way it
but you
goes.
know what? David Ortiz, charming.
There's nothing-
Shaq,
the-
not.
The dude bedazzled his fucking headphones. I love him.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's the best. I asked him about that. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
That's
Well, he's
awesome.
like, you
He's
can
like,
now.
I found out you could.
He was like, actually, Cody, I can do that.
No, because I was annoyed because I have the same headphones.
Yeah.
They're just normal Bose in-ear headphones. I'm like,
Yeah.
how'd you get them with diamonds? He's like, I got a guy. I'm like, you bastard.
You could do a craft night
Give me
and
your
dazzle
guy.
your own guy.
Don't think for a second I haven't thought about Swarovski like crystals and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, I'll do it.
Swarovski.
I've heard both ways.
Swarovski.
Well, protect our girls. Got to protect our daughters.
How do you feel about the bloody sock,
Orlovsky.
by the way?
How do I? Well, listen. We were going to get to the bloody sock today, but we ran out of time because Dan Orlovsky rolled out a tweet during the Olympics 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So-
And we can't let it go, and we
And
never
we
will.
can't let it go.
We're not-
I'll
so
never forget it.
We're
I'll-
never gonna
I'll never
forget that tweet or
the bloody
Kurt
sock,
Schillen's
which
which was definitely blood
was
because
not
he
blood.
had a suture in
it
the
was
locker room.
fucking. It's so embarrassing. You still believe this? So much so that I think we're finally going to get to the bloody sock on Friday. We're going to talk about the bloody sock, and everyone's going to finally know the exact truth about the fucking ketchup stain that was on a sock. The guy is not a
Yeah,
genius or a
believing
hero.
it's a catch-up stain is so funny. That's
You're
really funny.
It'd be you'd be lucky if it was ketchup. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I bet it was something even worse.
Food dye?
No, I bet he watched like a movie. He's like, oh, what do they use in that? Oh, corn syrup. I bet
Yeah.
it was corn syrup. I bet he used corn syrup.
Like it's like a Wes Craven film.
Oh, God. Guys, this has been The Regulars. Join us again on Friday. We'll be back here talking about sports. Maybe we'll finally get into the bloody sock controversy of it all. Maybe we won't, but I can definitely tell you this. Fuck you, Kurt Schilling.
Fuck you, Kurt Schilling.